Hello everybody and welcome to this week's Markets to Watch from Smack the Markets for week commencing the 11th of March. Now today we don't have a great deal on the fundamental calendar with the exception of the US retail sales due around sort of 12:30 London time. However, it is going to be one of the biggest weeks for the Great British Pound. There's a couple of crucial votes going through Parliament later in the week, and those are ultimately going to be the decider as to how the UK, or if the UK actually does sort of leave the European Union at the end of this month. So ultimately that's going to create quite a bit of volatility and tension in Great British Pound markets. So with that backdrop, let's go and take a look at some of the markets here that we're going to be focusing on in the trading room this week. Now, if we come and take a look at the US indices here, the US indices over the past few days and also over the past week here have had quite a change of direction. If we come and take a look at this on the weekly chart, we can see that last week the markets sort of had a huge move here. It's sort of retraced back into and just underneath this 25,500 level. I think this level here is the big sort of decider. It is the big sort of key level on this market. It's been such a sort of a strong structure point going back right the way sort of through 2018, as we can see, that I think this is going to be the decision point here for the US indices going forward. So if the market can break above this, then of course we'd just come back into sort of value areas in the context of this very strong move that we've had on the weekly here. And we could be then looking for new highs, and that's going to be pushing the market back above the 26,000, possibly on towards that 27,000 level. Now, if we come down the time frames, of course, we've got, on the sort of daily chart, we've got sort of confirmed short trends forming here on these lower time frames. So we can see the market in here at 25,500. Underneath that, we've got that other level down here, which is around 25,000. Now that 25,000 level has been quite a significant price point on the daily chart for this market as well. So I think we've got a couple of support areas. There's certainly sort of key support around where the market is. And certainly what we'll be looking for is if the market can break above 25,500, then we'll be looking for continued longs up towards the recent high of 26,200 would be the most sort of prudent thing to look for initially. If the market can't hold this level today, then I think we could be looking for 25,000 as a near-term sort of move, and then we'll sort of decide, or the market will decide from here as to whether there can be enough support here for the market to find, or whether it breaks. And if it does, then we've got other levels in here that we can look for intraday target levels as well. So certainly sort of interesting decision point there on the US indices on the sort of mini Dow future specifically. If we come and take a look at gold as well, which is our favorite commodity at the moment, again, similar sort of picture here. Now, gold is sitting right underneath a key decision point area again. This is the 1.300 level. You can see this level, very significant price point going back through many years on this market. And the market now, from the context of a nice strong long trend, has now sort of pulled back into the moving averages, back into that value area, and is sitting right underneath that 1.300 level. So from a higher time frame, a macro perspective level, if the market can break through 1.300, we're looking for longs up to 1.350 in the near term. If it can't, then, and it rolls over from here, then we've got our next sort of structure point down here, just around that 1.1250, 1.1270 area, and further sort of structure points underneath price if the price continues to weaken. Now, of course, when we come down on to lower time frames on these markets, trends are going to look in different perspectives. So if we come down to the daily, we can see that from a daily perspective, this market looks more short than long. But with the other things we can take on board is the potential sort of volatility that could be coming into the markets, certainly with those Brexit votes going forward. And if that creates increased volatility in many markets, then we might see a bit of a rush into safe havens. That might give gold a bit of a boost here as well. So I think, gold is quite an interesting one here to keep an eye on as to how it reacts around that 1.300 level. Now, if we come and take a look at the Forex markets here, and again, staying away from the Great British Pound at this moment in time, one of the more interesting markets, I think, here is US dollar against the yen. It's certainly one of the favorite markets of mine to trade, and due to the sort of lack of momentum in this market over the sort of past year or so, it's been one that's sort of kept, or that lack of momentum has kept me out of it for a lot of the time. But at this moment in time, we can see that the market has now, since the beginning of the year, since that big drop at the beginning of the year, the market now has rallied back up and it's broken out of a key level here, this 111 key level that you can see very, very significantly tested here on the weekly chart. So the market's punched through it. It's then pulled back to that level last week. So we're now sitting right on top of that 111 level. So in the context of this very bullish move, the market's now sitting right on the top of support. If we come and take a look at this on the daily time frame, you can see our 111 level here. You can also see that the market sort of found resistance at this price point in the recent trend to the long side here. Now the market's back into that level, it's finding support there, and it's back into the value area, back into the moving averages as well. So this, I think, as well, is how the market sort of closes today is going to be quite a decider here for dollar yen. If the market can pick up, then we're going to be looking for longs up towards 112 in the near term, and obviously then sort of continuing on to sort of 111 ultimately as the trend continues. If 111 can't hold, then we've got 110-200, which is the next support level. We could be looking for short opportunities back down towards that 110-200 area and beyond. So it's a few markets there that we're keeping a very close eye on in the markets this week. Certainly hope it helps. I look forward to speaking to you next time. Bye for now.